This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Good morning, 7 o'clock to you on this Tuesday. Yeah, the kids are heading off to school. They had NTI yesterday because it was just so bitterly cold.
Yeah, so cold yesterday that it makes 30 degrees feel warm outside this morning.
Honestly, I was just like, do I need my coat? No, I need my coat.
You still need the coat. You still need the layers, kids.
And you know, if I ask that question, it tells you that we've been through a lot, right? The storm tracker right now traveling through portions of downtown Louisville. Not much going on weather-wise. We are seeing those clouds just streaming in across the area. Going to continue to watch for them traversing wave country throughout the rest of the morning into the afternoon. Now, your temperatures are in the 20s and the low 30s. Our coldest locations towards Madison and North Redmond, where it's 21 degrees. It is 32 right now in the Hardinsburg, Litchfield, and E-Town, while it's 25 at the airport in Louisville. Eventually, we will return to those 30s for a lot of us for highs this afternoon. Some of us will get to the 40s. Just will depend on how quickly the clouds roll out of your area. But as we look ahead, the warming trend continues through your Wednesday and Thursday. And on Thursday, that's when we'll add some rain and wind back into our forecast. Rob.
Okay, Tawana, thanks so much at 7:01. Glad to have you along. If you're just joining us on an early morning, if you're heading out the door, no big issues to report right now. We are still watching this area. This is 65 South, the ramp onto I-265 after reports of a two-car crash there just about a half hour, 40 minutes ago. So certainly if you're heading out in that area, keep an eye out for the traffic in that area. 65 along the Kennedy, looking good, nice clear conditions. Not a lot of heavy traffic out there this morning. It's been pretty quiet. Along 65, a couple of slowdowns because of some disabled vehicles. Otherwise, looking pretty good. Over to you.
Thank you. There's a big shift for the future of the Blue Oval SK Battery Park in Glendale and the jobs promised by state and company leaders.
It comes as Ford plans to take over operations at the Hardin County site. Ford says it plans to hire 2,100 workers and reconfigure the site to make energy storage systems that are used for data centers, utilities, and large-scale industrial and commercial companies. The original plan was for Blue Oval SK to make batteries that would be used in Ford electric vehicles. When first announced, the plan was to hire 5,000 workers at 2 plants at the site. Right now, more than 1,600 people work at the one completed plant. In a statement, Blue Oval says any team members who will be laid off from the company will stay on the job for 60 days after receiving a notice. In a statement, a Ford spokesperson says, quote, "We're looking forward to expanding our presence in the state. A Ford subsidiary will hire more than 2,100 employees for our battery operations. Battery energy storage is an exciting new market segment for us, and we can't wait to get started," end quote.
LMPD is issuing a safety alert after arresting 3 teens who they say are part of an organized crime ring looking to steal cars. 18-year-olds Parker Campbell, Jamari Kroom, and Caleb McLean were arrested after that chase Sunday. It started when an LMPD officer tried to pull them over on Dixie Highway and Valley Station. Officers say the teens took off driving to Sellersburg, Indiana, before stealing another car and returning to Louisville. LMPD used a helicopter and drone along with help from Indiana State Police to track them to a parking garage at 4th and Main Street where they were arrested. Police believe the teens are connected to more sophisticated car thefts, and the woman whose car was stolen and wants to remain anonymous says she's now scrambling to get her life back in order just before the holidays.
Out of all the cars in the neighborhood, they took mine. And it's Christmas time. Why are they doing this to me? I have 3 kids. Like, I had 2 booster cars in there. I had my stroller in there.
They're all armed, and they cover the house and basically maintain security on the house in case someone comes out and tries to interrupt them stealing their vehicle.
The 3 teens charged now, they are facing charges including engaging in organized crime and multiple charges of fleeing police.
Last week, LMPD said the number of stolen cars is down more than 18% when compared to last year. But it's still an issue in the city, as you see on the LMPD crime map. The blue icon is where Sunday's chase started. That's right by Waverly Hills. And the green icons show reports of stolen cars in the area in just the past 2 months. To protect yourself, LMPD suggests locking your car or buying an anti-theft device like a bar lock or brake lock.
The mother of a 5-year-old boy found dead inside a suitcase abandoned in Washington County, Indiana, is pleading not guilty to murder charges. Dejon Anderson's case was moved to Jefferson County last week. She requested a public defender, unlike in Washington County, where she filed a motion to represent herself. The Jefferson County Commonwealth Attorney's Office took the case from prosecutors in Indiana because police believe Anderson killed her son in a Louisville home before she dumped his body in Indiana in April of 2022. She's scheduled back in court January 27th.
We're learning more about a man shot and killed by LMPD officers. The Jefferson County coroner says 32-year-old Casey Barnes died nearly 2 weeks ago. Police say it started as a call of a man pointing a gun at a woman on Red Deer Circle on December 4th. LMPD says Barnes matched the suspect's description. Officers Michael Crow and Austin Taylor confronted Barnes and told him to drop the weapon. LMPD says Barnes did not and was then shot. The department is expected to release body camera video of the shooting this week. Right now, both officers are on paid leave, which is standard procedure during the investigation.
Right now, voters in District 37, made up of areas primarily around southern Jefferson County, are casting their ballots. They'll be choosing between 3 candidates vying for a state Senate seat that was left open after David Yates was appointed as Jefferson County clerk. Let's go back to Rob with more on each of those candidates.
Shannon, David Yates represented Kentucky's 37th Senate District for just over 4 years. Last year, he was reelected with about 60% of the vote against Calvin Leach, who is running yet once again. Leach, the GOP nominee, is an Army veteran and lifelong resident of the South End. Gary Clemens, the Democratic nominee, is an Army veteran and president of Louisville's chapter of United Steelworkers Local. Wendy Higdon, who's running as a Libertarian, is a surgical technologist by trade and also a foster parent. We asked each candidate what they think is the biggest issue District 37 is facing.
It's hard to pinpoint one specific issue. I would probably start with infrastructure.
Cost of living, cost of living is definitely the biggest issue right now.
For me personally, it's JCPS and the education system.
With 2026 being a budget year for the General Assembly, we also asked each candidate their approach to getting funding for their district. Leach said that he'd advocate for more funding for infrastructure projects. Clemens said he's open to learning from other politicians and community members about a good approach. Higdon said she'd be conservative with funding because she thinks that the state is already spending too much money. A spokesperson for the Jefferson County Clerk's Office told WAVE that there are about 75,000 people in District 37 that are registered to vote. The polls are open until 6 p.m. There are 8 polling locations. And to learn more about the election itself and places that you can vote, visit wave3.com. Olivia.
Thank you, Rob. Today, the Kentucky Court of Appeals will hear oral arguments in a lawsuit filed by students who want tuition reimbursement from Kentucky colleges. Students argue they're entitled to refunds for tuition paid during the pandemic. They claim universities should refund tuition and fees since they did not have in-person classes due to the COVID-19 shutdown during the spring semester of 2020. A Franklin Circuit Court had previously denied the students' claims. The case names 6 schools, including U of L, UK, Western, and Eastern Kentucky. A safety alert this morning as a case of bird flu has been confirmed in a Kentucky backyard flock. Federal and state authorities say the case happened in Jessamine County, just south of Lexington. The affected flock is quarantined and depopulation began on Thursday. Authorities are also monitoring the area near where the virus was found to prevent it from spreading further. The virus is deadly for domesticated chickens and turkeys. Officials urge all bird owners to practice good biosecurity and prevent contact between their birds and wild birds.
Construction on a Louisville water project on River Road is almost done. Crews have moved on to one of the last section of the Louisville Water Company's residual line project. Now through December 21st, a portion of River Road is closed between Wolf Pen Branch Road and Mayfair Avenue. According to Louisville Water's website, the project is 95% of the way complete. Utility leaders expect the last stretches of work to wrap up by the summer of 2026.
Happening tonight, the U of L men's basketball team will travel to Knoxville for a top 20 matchup. The game between the Cards and Tennessee is set to tip off at 7 o'clock tonight. So far, U of L has been rolling throughout their non-conference schedule. Their only loss was on the road at Arkansas. Historically, Louisville is 5-1 when playing in Knoxville, but the Vols beat the Cards last season in the KFC Yum Center. So Louisville looking for revenge tonight.
We'll see how they do. Coming up, new details revealing more about what led to the death of Hollywood Hollywood legend Rob Reiner and his wife, and now his son is under arrest. We'll tell you about a party that the three of them had attended the day before. So you guys almost wrapped up with the holiday shopping? No, not for you.
I started yesterday and I got my Secret Santa present because our gathering
Breakfast is tomorrow. Tomorrow morning.
But family members haven't started that. And I will. They will have presents. They will. You all are on top of it. You all start early, though.
Yeah.
You're done wrapping and everything.
No,
right?
I'm not done wrapping. I have to do that and go through and make sure, you know, when you have two kids, you have to make sure that it's even.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair. I still have to figure out what I'm getting for my brother for his birthday, which is in 4 days. So at least I got most of the Christmas presents organized.
Well, you have time. You have 4 days.
You do.
I do.
Now I'm a little stressed about
From
it.
a procrastinator, I tell you, you have plenty of time.
Plenty of time. It's plenty of time. Yeah, it's all good. For those of you who are heading out today, if you are getting that holiday shopping done, hey, keep in mind today's a great day to do that because we do see that warmer weather, that quiet weather in the forecast. Tomorrow would be good for that as well. What we're dealing with right now, quiet conditions across the Ohio Valley. We are watching this wave of clouds just gradually drifting into our region, slow but steady. You can certainly see those clouds overhead on our SkyTrack camera in New Albany, kind of making for a spooky scene there as the sun tries to come up off towards the east. So we'll watch for these clouds gradually taking over as the morning continues. Temperatures mainly in the upper 20s and the low 30s, a little bit colder for those of you further to the northeast because one, you still have a little bit more of that snow on the ground, and two, you're also dealing with those clearer skies in your area. So both of those things are helping you to be on the colder side. Over the next 12 hours, we will keep some of these clouds through the morning into portions of the afternoon, with them clearing for the late afternoon and early evening. So that means it's going to limit a lot of our highs to the upper 30s. Some of you who get those clouds out a little bit sooner could see some low 40s. So we'll watch to see how things go. For tonight, we do drop down into the 30s for most of us, with an actual warming trend showing up towards sunrise. So it's going to be a quick little dip there as temperatures climb back into the 40s for your highs for tomorrow. Then 50s show up on Thursday as yet another system arrives. This will not only bring the warmer weather, but some windy conditions and some rounds of rain for the second half of your Thursday. A couple of thunderstorms possible as well. In the tail end of the system, the colder air is going to try to catch up to the moisture exiting our region, and that could leave us with a bit of snow come Friday morning. Going to keep an eye on how much of that snow we can actually get to fall across wave country. We're watching that marginal risk of severe weather in place for most of our region on Thursday, mainly because of a damaging wind threat that could come along with any of those stronger thunderstorms. Outside of that, it's going to be windy overall, so watching Thursday's forecast pretty closely. Friday, a lot colder with highs only in the low 30s for most of us, warming up just a tad over the upcoming weekend, and we'll see the milder conditions lasting through most of next week with 50s and even low 60s trying to show up for highs for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But a couple of systems moving across the country could cause some issues in terms of travel, so that's something that I think not only me but most meteorologists will be keeping a close eye on. Olivia.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tawana. New details this morning. The Australian Prime Minister says the gunmen who opened fire at a Hanukkah celebration were inspired by ISIS. Police say 2 homemade Islamic State flags were found in the car belonging to the father and son suspects. Investigators say they shot and killed at least 15 people at a Hanukkah celebration on Bondi Beach in Sydney. More than 24 others remain in the hospital. Police shot and killed the father, and the son is still in the hospital. The Prime Minister says the pair had carefully plotted the attack and did not appear to have any additional accomplices.
The son of Hollywood legend Rob Reiner is being held in jail without bond, suspected of killing his father and mother. Nick Reiner was arrested yesterday. Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were found dead at their Los Angeles home Sunday night. Police have not released a motive. Nick Reiner has a long history with drug addiction and homelessness, which began in his teens. And those experiences inspired the 2016 movie called Being Charlie. Rob Reiner directed that. Nick Reiner co-wrote it. And according to People at a party at Conan O'Brien's house Saturday evening, Reiner had gotten into a very loud argument with his son Nick there, and Nick allegedly made people feel uncomfortable asking them if they were famous.
President Trump is getting backlash from both Republicans and Democrats about comments he made about Rob Reiner's death. On social media, President Trump suggested the legendary director and actor died because of his critical views of the president. He was asked about the post in the Oval Office.
I think he hurt himself in career-wise. So he became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country.
In a post on social media, Kentucky Republican Congressman Thomas Massie said in part, quote, regardless of how you felt about Rob Reiner, this inappropriate and disrespectful discourse about a man who was just brutally murdered. I guess my elected GOP colleagues, the VP, and White House staff will just ignore it because they're afraid. Governor Andy Beshear also reacted to the comments. On Facebook, he said, quote, President Trump's comments today on Rob Reiner's death fail every test of leadership and every test of basic decency.
Powerball is getting more interesting right before the holidays. No one won the jackpot again Monday night, so it's now expected to reach $1.25 billion by Wednesday night's drawing. If the winner takes the lump sum, it is still $572 million. Before taxes. Incredible. For more than 100 years now, Muse Candies in Louisville has been serving up sweet treats for people in the area.
And right now it's their busiest time of the year, making those famous bourbon balls and chocolates for people to take to holiday parties. Wave News reporter Kirsten Foote shows us a behind-the-scenes look of how they make those treats.
Right here at Muse Candies down in the New Lou area. It is their busiest time of year, and I'm trying to help out a little bit, make it a little bit easier on the guys down here. I'm here with Sarah Blazin, fourth-generation family member.
Yes, ma'am.
We are making some chocolate-covered Oreos. I am the designated sprinkle girl here. Tell me about what we're doing here.
So we are taking a Oreo and coating it in milk chocolate, and then we're adding a fun holiday sprinkle. All of our pairs of Oreos get one little icing deco and one sprinkle. They make a cute little stocking stuffer.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun, and it smells so good back here. I wish I could just send the smell back to you guys here. I'm going to try to do this myself if that's okay. Maybe, well, let me sprinkle this one really fast, and then I'll try my hand here. Okay, so how do I do this? I just take this.
You drop it in.
Drop it in.
Oh, nope.
Oh, no. Oh, things are going well here. Oh, they're not going so well.
Shake it off a little.
Shake it off. Should I drop it in a little bit more? I don't have it all the way covered.
You're good.
I'm going to put it down here.
We'll try again.
Okay. That was my first attempt. Okay.
So you're gonna drop it in. Don't touch it. Just drop it in.
Okay, drop it in.
Now pick it up from the bottom. Scoop it, like coat it. Shake it off. Oh, looking much better.
Oh, yay. Oh, making big improvements here very quickly. Scrape it off a little bit here.
Yeah, and then drop it on
and then set it down. Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
That looks so much better.
Thank you. I don't know if I'm gonna get a job here after this. I might stick to my day job, maybe. This is one of many treats that are available for people here. How should they order this? Should they do it online, in the store?
We will do orders for a little bit longer, and then it'll just move to come in the store, and first come, first serve. We'll see what we have left.
Wonderful. And this would make a great, stocking stuffer or just anything
a
to do
treat
for a holiday
for
party.
your mailman, your neighbor, a holiday party. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I definitely want to stop down here to Moose and get those holiday candies while supplies are still lasting, because y'all are pretty busy here.
We are very busy.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. Of course. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kirsten. I bet that does smell good. So maybe you plan to do some baking as we head closer to Christmas.
Retail giant Target looked into the most popular holiday cookies for each state in the U.S. So take a look here. You can see a pretty common theme across all 50 states. Gingerbread cookies seems to be the top winner there. Gingerbread cookies are the top purchase holiday cookies across the U.S., including Kentucky and Indiana. So it looks like we have quite a few fans here. But some of the other sweet treats you can find on the map include sugar and shortbread cookies. My dad makes like copycat Thin Mints. That's my favorite holiday cookie.
Yum.
Yum.
That sounds good.
What about you?
I do like gingerbread cookies, but we don't make a lot at home. That would be something I'd buy. Easier.
Yeah, right.
Easier. Fourth graders in Louisville are playing Santa.
You'll see how these young students are spreading holiday cheer and making a difference for families in Eastern Kentucky.
Some Louisville fourth graders are getting into the holiday spirit and spreading cheer in Eastern Kentucky.
Check this out. Christian Academy students have been collecting the toys and gifts over the last several weeks, and yesterday they loaded up their donations onto a truck to be delivered to Harlan County. The gifts will be distributed to families through the Mountain Santa Ministry.
It's wonderful because these kids realize how blessed they are, and they actually see the kids that get them. We have pictures and families go down and actually participate in handing out the gifts, and the kids love the fact that they can see that their donations actually go to someone.
Great Glass has been participating in the Mountain Santa partnership for more than 15 years.
Kroger is helping shoppers get their hands on the very hard to find bottle of Pappy Van Winkle bourbon. A lottery is being held this Saturday at dozens of Kentucky wine and spirit shops across the Commonwealth. There are more than 1,000 bottles up for grabs. If your name is drawn, you still have to buy the bottle. It'll range in price from about $150 to $500. Those winners will be chosen on Sunday, and then bottles will be sold to the winners next Monday. There is one entry per customer per store. And you did some research. You have to go there between the hours of 4 to 8.
And you sign up the day before.
On Saturday.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, you want to get in on that. We'll be right back.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Oxmoor Auto Group.
Good morning. I'm Shannon Kogan. A major shift is coming to the Blue Oval SK Battery Park in Glendale. Ford is now taking over operations at the Hardin County site. The company now plans to hire 2,100 workers to make emergency or energy storage systems. These systems are used for data centers, utilities, and large industrial companies. The original plan called for Blue Oval SK to produce batteries for electric vehicles and hire 5,000 workers. Currently, more than 1,600 people work at the completed plant. Blue Oval SK says any laid-off employees will remain on the job for 60 days after a notice. Here is Tawana, and we're actually going to get above freezing today.
Yes, we are already starting on the warmer side for most of the region. Clouds drifting overhead, making for a really spooky and kind of pretty shot in Bardstown this morning, as temperatures are sitting on the milder side compared to where we were yesterday morning. What we're dealing with right now, those clouds continuing to take over as your temperatures are sitting in the 20s and the low 30s in most spots. One exception to that, North Vernon, you're currently sitting at 19 degrees. As we head over the next 12 hours, we will watch those temperatures trying to climb and into the upper 30s for highs for most of us. For those of you who get rid of those clouds faster, then you'll be in the low 40s this afternoon. We'll see more of those 40s tomorrow, 50s rain and wind on Thursday, a bit of a chill by Friday. Rob?
Tawana, thanks so much. Keeping our eyes on a one-car crash. This is at 64 West, the ramp area to Cannons Lane. We've seen several emergency responders show up there within the last few minutes, so that's certainly an area you're going to want to keep an eye on. Again, that's 64 West, the ramp to Cannons Lane. Otherwise, taking a look at the big picture out there this morning, not too many issues. A couple of disabled vehicles along 65. Otherwise, make it a great morning. Be sure to follow the speed and make sure you buckle up when you head out.
Good morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us here for Sunrise Extra. I'm Olivia Russell. We're going to hear from the Heisman winner, Fernando Mendoza, coming up a little bit later. Plus, we'll talk about how to beat the holiday blues, especially when it's so cold outside. But the good news, things are warming up. We'll see some sunshine, and hopefully that should be able to lift your mood just a bit. But new this morning, we're hearing from the family of a man who was found shot and killed inside a Louisville apartment earlier this month. LMPD officers claim that crime was done by someone the victim's loved ones knew and trusted. Wave News reporter Julia Richardson has more.
I'm forever haunted by the image that I saw that day. Like, there's just no way I'll ever be able to forget it.
For Whitney Smith, December 3rd is a day burned into her memory. It's when she came home from work to find her boyfriend, Vincent Norris, dead. Investigators say Norris had been shot 12 times. Smith says while trying to work through the shock of her discovery, there was one thing at the front of her mind.
How am I going to tell Cheyenne? Like, that was... I knew I couldn't tell her that.
Vincent's daughter, Cheyenne, says her relationship with her dad was special.
My whole life was just like, me and my dad. That was like my whole heart. And it's like, it really is like, what do I do now?
Cheyenne tells me the suspect in the shooting death, William Baker, was a friend of her dad's, and she considered him to be a family member.
Like my dad, my aunt called him brother. Me and my cousins called him like uncle, all kinds. Like it was, we had known him, like we said, like maybe 5 years or whatever. But like within that time, he had got close with all of us to that point. And it's especially my dad.
Now, both Whitney and Cheyenne are struggling to figure out a motive for the shooting, especially given the type of person Vincent was and how much he loved his family.
And he had a beautiful soul and a beautiful personality and a beautiful smile. I mean, he had the biggest, prettiest teeth, smile, everything. He was just a great guy. I mean, he talked about his family and he would just gush, like just smile. And he would tell me all these stories.
Cheyenne says her dad had even become a father figure for her 2-year-old son after his dad was killed last year.
My son loved him. Like, that's what makes it harder too, is because I have to tell my son his dad was murdered and his papa was murdered too, like, as he gets older.
Although nothing will bring Vincent back, Cheyenne and Whitney say they just hope William understands how deeply this loss truly cuts.
I just hope that Will sees this and he sees the damage that he caused for no reason. I mean, absolutely no reason. There was no reason at all to hurt Vincent. There was no reason at all. He had so much to live for.
William Baker is charged with murder, possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, and tampering with physical evidence. Today, a man accused of shooting 2 students at Kentucky State University is expected to be back in front of a judge. Jacob Bard is scheduled to have a preliminary hearing today. Prosecutors say he shot 2 students after a fight outside of a dorm at KSU last week. This is video of that fight. 19-year-old student DeJohn Darrell Fox Jr. died. The other student was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Investigators haven't said what that fight was about, though. Bart's lawyers say he's the father of 2 KSU students. In response to renters' protests about capping utility prices, Governor Andy Beshear says he can't use executive action to ban companies from disconnecting the power. Last week, a group gathered at the state capitol to highlight the fact that winter power shutoffs are banned or limited in 42 states, and they say Kentucky should join that list. Kentuckians for Energy Democracy say they're not asking for debt forgiveness. They just want the power to stay on during the coldest months. They urged Governor Beshear to ban these shutoffs through an executive order, similar to what happened during COVID, but the governor says it's not something he can possibly do.
I don't have the legal authority to do that. What they cite was during COVID, I was able to do it. But COVID was a worldwide health pandemic, and we had a very broad state of emergency.
Beshear said he plans to reveal a proposal to help Kentuckians with utility costs during his annual State of the Commonwealth address, and that will be in early January. A woman arrested for pepper spraying a DoorDash food bag in Indiana claims she was actually spraying a spider. Video from an Evansville, Indiana home on camera caught the suspect, later identified as Courtney Stevenson, spraying the food bag with pepper spray after dropping it off. The couple who ate the food told investigators they both got sick. Deputies say Stevenson explained she's terrified of spiders, but Sheriff Noah Robinson says he's not buying that excuse.
I am not an arachnid expert, but I do know, having been a Southern Indiana resident for my entire life, that spiders don't crawl around in the wintertime. And the low of that night was somewhere around 35 degrees. Any spider would be warm inside its shelter and would not be crawling around on somebody's doorstep.
DoorDash representatives say they've now revoked Stevenson's access to their platform. In their statement, DoorDash also said they have zero tolerance for this kind of behavior. Stevenson is charged with consumer product tampering and battery. A group looking to bring more childcare to Linden will have to reevaluate their plans after a zoning request was denied. Leaf Spring Daycare has locations in several different cities. They were hoping to build a new location on Whips Mill Road. That's in the city of Belmead. But on Monday, city council members did not approve the rezoning request that would have allowed Leaf Spring to build in the mostly residential space. Leaders and people who live nearby had concerns about the traffic it would bring to the area.
There's going to be some through lanes coming out of the Shelbyhurst campus, and those are going to lead some very dangerous, risky left-hand turns. That was one of our major concerns. Also, just the fact that there was going to be no buffer between this commercial property and these residential properties.
There's a Leaf Spring location already open in Norton Commons. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul says he plans to undo changes in Congress that will impact the state's hemp industry. When Congress passed a bill to end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, it included a provision to restrict the sale of low levels of THC products. Senator Mitch McConnell, who supported the provision, argues it targets intoxicating THC products. The new restrictions are scheduled to take effect in 10 months. Senator Paul says McConnell was not willing to compromise, and it puts Kentucky's $300 million hemp industry at risk.
If he sees an accomplishment destroying a multi-million, actually billion-dollar industry, I don't see that as an accomplishment. I don't know that we're going to change his mind, but I think he really has not been well informed on this. I don't think he understands the devastation this is going to bring.
When we asked for a comment, McConnell's office directed us to a statement McConnell made on the Senate floor back in November about THC being a threat to children in Kentucky. A safety alert this holiday season because police want you to watch out for crimes of opportunity like theft and break-ins. Georgetown police say officers see an increase in certain crimes during the holiday season. So to avoid becoming a victim, police say if you're expecting a package, try to make sure someone is home so they can bring it inside. If you're going shopping in person, make sure you lock your car and keep valuables out of plain view. Also, police say be careful about what you post on social media, especially if you're traveling and your house is empty.
You're giving them an opportunity to come break into your house because they know you're not there. So wait to post all those, fun holiday pictures until after you return home.
And as you head to holiday parties over the next 2 weeks, remember, do not drive impaired. Always make sure you have a designated driver if you plan to drink any alcohol. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in 2 minutes with some national headlines. Congress now has less than 3 days to avoid a leap in healthcare costs for many Americans. Affordable Care Act subsidies from the pandemic era are set to expire in the new year. A nonpartisan research group says that would cause average Obamacare premiums to more than double. Amy Kiley reports, with the clock ticking, bipartisan groups are starting to push for compromise on Capitol Hill.
You're going to anticipate the enormous sticker shock of your premiums going up.
New plans are emerging to keep healthcare costs from skyrocketing for millions of Americans. Lawmakers are scheduled to start their holiday breaks at the end of this week, and certain Obamacare subsidies are set to expire while they're on recess. Leaders of the two parties are largely at an impasse. Democrats want a straight-up 3-year extension of the subsidies. House Republicans want a floor vote this week on a plan that lets them expire.
This proposal focuses on expanding the availability of association health plans, allowing employers to really band together to purchase coverage. It also includes new transparency requirements for pharmacy benefit managers.
Now, some centrist Republicans and a handful of Democrats are working on compromises in both chambers. In the House today, a bipartisan group is taking steps to try to force a floor vote on their plan. It would extend the subsidies, but with stricter income caps and new fraud prevention measures.
It's hundreds of dollars a month for many Americans throughout the country. We have to do right by those people.
In the Senate, a bipartisan group that met last night is considering a way to extend the subsidies with reforms. They say they hope to announce their plan before the holiday break.
I think there's a deal that could be done.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
This week, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is highlighting its work to fight Lyme disease. The deer tick-borne disease infects and hurts the immune system of hundreds of thousands of people a year. A new website, hhs.gov/Lyme, gives Americans a fact sheet on the disease. The website launched on Monday. A doctor from the Surgeon General's office says spotlighting Lyme disease is important because it's spreading to more parts of the country.
It used to be concentrated in the Northeast. Now we have Mid-Atlantic. It's in even like states like North Florida. It's all the way Midwest. Unfortunately, it should be kept at the top of the differential diagnosis.
Most cases are caught early and treated with antibiotics, but up to 20% of cases have longer-term effects. Police hope new video will help them catch a shooter who killed 2 students and hurt 9 others at Brown University. Investigators say these newly released images were taken only hours before the shooting on Saturday. A $50,000 reward is being offered for information to find the person the FBI is calling a suspect. A person who was originally detained after the shooting was let go after investigators say evidence pointed them in a different direction. Today, a federal judge will hold an emergency hearing to consider whether to temporarily stop construction on President Donald Trump's White House ballroom. A historic preservation group filed a lawsuit to stop the project from moving forward. The group says the president did not get the appropriate approval from Congress. The White House says they cannot stop the work now. A Secret Service official involved in the construction says any disruption in the project could hamper the agency's ability to provide security for the president. Well, if you're not feeling the holiday cheer, even during the most wonderful time of the year, many people find themselves struggling with holiday blues. Doctors say if you're feeling the holiday blues, you should reach out to a friend or family member you've been meaning to connect with. Try to set up time together in person when you can, but you can always catch up over the phone or if they're too far away. Although it's often cold and gloomy this time of year, doctors say you want to find ways to socialize and keep up with activities that you enjoy. You should also prioritize good sleep, healthy eating, and regular exercise. And while winter blues are usually temporary, it's important to recognize the signs you may need to reach out to a mental health professional.
If you are feeling down, depressed, or hopeless more days than not, if you are feeling a loss of interest or pleasure in doing things more days than not.
She also says if you're feeling this way, it could be a sign that you're struggling with anxiety or depression and you need further support. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in 2 minutes with some headlines in sports. Well, he is all the talk in college football right now, and Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza says he is not done making history. The Hoosiers have accomplished a lot of firsts so far this year. Their first undefeated season, their first Big Ten championship game win, and over the weekend, quarterback Fernando Mendoza won the school's first Heisman Trophy. During a press conference yesterday, Mendoza talked about what IU's football focus is now going forward.
Our focus right now is winning the college football playoff. That's what would make this trophy so much sweeter. I believe this trophy is a little bit of push of confidence on us, on the team, that we're making history for the first IU team in history to be 13-0 and also to bring home a Heisman Trophy to Bloomington.
So the Hoosiers have a bye in the first round of the college football playoffs. They'll play in the Rose Bowl game on New Year's Day. That's at 4 p.m. and you can watch it on ESPN. They'll be playing the winner of Oklahoma versus Alabama. It'll be interesting to see who wins that first round. Well, if you're looking to follow the Louisville Cardinals for the holidays, you could get into their bowl game for free, and all you need is a can of Bush's Beans. Coach Jeff Brom and the Cards are headed to Florida to play in the Boca Raton Bowl against Toledo. Organizers of the Bowl say the first 2,000 fans who bring a can of Bush's Beans will get into the game for free. Bush's Beans is the game's title sponsor, so all cans of beans collected will be donated to local families in need. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. In college basketball, WKU hosted Campbellsville. WKU's Ryan Myers scored 19 points, and freshman Armello Boone had 18. The Hilltoppers beat Campbellsville 102-59. WKU now 7-3 on the season and undefeated at home. WKU wraps up non-conference play against Tulsa on Friday before their conference opener at Jacksonville State. That one will be on the 29th. And happening today, the Cards are traveling to Knoxville for a top 20 matchup. That game will be at 7 o'clock tonight. And so far, U of L just rolling in their non-conference schedule. Their only loss so far this season, that was to Arkansas on the road, but they're hoping that Tennessee will be a totally different story. That's all the time we have here for Sunrise Extra. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a great Tuesday and a great week ahead.